These are very old rocks, 390 million years along this coast. And along the light-to-light walk you see these beds of ancient rivers. The mauvey purple ones are usually sandstones, which represent the old river channels, and the bright red rocks are floodplain mudstones. Sometimes the rocks have been bleached by modern groundwater, so you get white patches in them, or even green. The red colour's due to iron, and those red rocks are just rusty. If we want to hear the stories the rocks are telling us, we have to factor in time. I particularly love this coastline because it is so beautiful. I mean, geology in rocks has taken me into many beautiful places, but none as beautiful as this coast. The colours are just so incredible. When I go out and walk the light-to-light walk, I don't go out as a professional geologist. The first thing that hits me is the incredible beauty. The red rocks, the beautiful blue of the sea, or green if it's a cloudy day, and the bright green of the vegetation. And it's just wonderful. That's what always strikes me when I go out to walk that walk. Sometimes I have a hard time bringing my brain back to what I might be doing there, looking for something special in the rocks. There are wonderful features like cliffs and caves and little beaches. Mostly the beaches are what we call pocket beaches. They're just little pockets in between rocky headlands, and it's just beautiful to be in. Yeah. There's a lot of diversity in the rocks here, so in a small area. Some parts of this coast are very rich in 390 million year old fish fossils, and every time there's a storm, of course, rocks get plucked out of the cliffs and the rock platforms, and it's worth going to have a look to see if there's anything preserved in the new exposures. What you mostly see is remains of the fish. These were fish with armour plating over them. They had external bony skeletons, and it was arranged as plates. And when the fish die, the plates disintegrate. So you get, palm-sized plates mostly. But every now and again, there is a billabong or something preserved in the rocks. These rocks represent great river systems with floodplains and channels, and every now and again there's a billabong that fish swam into, the billabong dried up and all the fish died. So these fish were a metre long or more. There are a few places along the coast where we have this sort of preservation, which is wonderful, and there have been new species, new to science, found along this coast, and that's what's really brought the international scientists. But there are impressions of these, of one of these fish kills in the Killer Whale Museum in Eden, so you can actually go and see the impressions of these, very ancient fish. If you're in your 70s, you'd expect a few wrinkles, so it's just the rocks are the same. You see a few wrinkles and a few cracks in the rocks. And rocks that old have usually had a hard life. It's a long time since the original sediments were laid down, and they've been deeply buried, heated up, and fractured and bent. So you often see curves or slopes. The other thing I really like about this coast is that it's very accessible, because, and that's another advantage for students too, or visitors. You can actually walk up close to these rocks and have a good look at them.